There we go. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. It is Sunday, August the 8th, and this is your weekly Coffee and a Card Facebook Live. I'm Zara Premji. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Markham, Ontario, Canada. And every Sunday morning at 10 a.m., I come on to do a Facebook Live crafting show. So I'm just going to take a minute and say hello to some friends. Hello, Aviva. Good morning. Good morning. Janet, you're up really early. It's like 7:10 a.m., isn't it? Good morning, Betty. Good morning, Sandy, Kelly. Hello, my friends. How is everybody doing? I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. Good morning, Linda. Linda, it's early for you too, right? I think it's like 3 hours behind where I am. So happy early morning to you. Good morning, Janice Keels. Good morning, Beth. How's everybody doing? I hope you're all having a great weekend so far. Good morning, Margaret Ann. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Hello, Carol. So let me tell you a little bit about what we are doing today, and then I'll probably tell you a story or two. Am I sick today? Aviva, I have sounded like this for it's probably now going on 6 weeks. I just sound congested all the time. I have no other symptoms. And I think it might be allergies or maybe a sinus infection. I'm not sure, but I've literally sounded like this now for like 4 to 6 weeks, and I can't figure out what it is. So it's not really that bothersome. I just sound really I sound stuffy. Um, but thank you for asking. I'm feeling okay. Good morning, Keisha. So I'm going to be featuring a bundle in our holiday catalog. So for those of you that have not been watching me for the last few weeks, we have a new holiday catalog that launched on August 3rd. We also have a new promotion that launched on August 3rd as well called Celebration. So I'm going to be using some products from both of the brochures, and I'm going to talk a little bit. I always love, if you don't know me by now, I am a sucker for immediate gratification. I don't like to wait for things. And I also really love getting things for free. So I'm going to talk to you about how you can get some of the products that I'm going to be using for free. I'm going to be creating one card, and then if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you a few more samples featuring that bundle. So I know sometimes for me, when I see a particular card, I'm like, yep, that's great, but I don't want to buy a bundle or invest in products just to make one card. So I'm going to show you some other samples so that if you have this bundle or you are thinking about getting it, then you will have some other ideas and inspiration for things that you can do. Because I love when something has an element of versatility to it and you can use it for multiple projects and uses. So once I got started, I didn't, I kept making cards, but I didn't have a chance to do some of the other projects that I had in my head. So I might show you some photos of those as the week goes on. Good morning, Shirley. Thank you very much. Good morning, Mindy. First time live. Yay. Welcome, Mindy. Everyone give Mindy some love. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello, Jamie. Good morning, my friend. Hello, Natalie. Aviva, you've been living under a rock. Well, listen, you're not the only one. I think we're now just starting to emerge, come up for air, and then I'm hearing that our numbers are going up again. So who knows what life will have in store for us in the coming weeks. Good morning, Shams. If you love what you see and you think that you have friends or family that would love the inspiration or ideas or are ready to start making some holiday cards, please do share this video. That's the ultimate compliment for me, and I appreciate those of you that are commenting, and I can see the little hearts and thumbs up flying by. So I appreciate that. Hello, Deborah. Good morning. Okay, so let me tell you about the activity that's been happening in our lives for the last few weeks. Um, We've had family here from Vancouver. So my cousin, who I kind of grew up with, and I say kind of because she lived in Alberta first and then BC, but she would come to visit all the time, and I would go there to visit. So we've grown up together, and she now has kids that are similar in age to my kids. So they were in town for 10 days, and spent their son is the same age as my eldest, so they spent a lot of time here, and we did all sorts of fun things together. We did movies, we went to a trampoline park, we went to Canada's Wonderland, we went out for dinners, we just hung out and had lots of fun together. So it's been a busy few weeks. And then they invited my son to go back with them to Vancouver for 10 days. So he left yesterday. I'm kind of sad. It's the first time he'll be away from me for this long. But we dropped him to the airport, and it was so busy getting him ready and getting everything packed. He was actually supposed to be leaving tonight, and the flight got changed to yesterday afternoon, so that we lost kind of 24 hours to get him all sorted. So it was so busy getting him to the airport, and then after I dropped him off and I got in the car and we were driving home, that's when it kind of hit me. So I was feeling a little weepy yesterday, but I know he's in good hands and it'll be a great experience for him. So I asked a question in my Facebook group. I was asking yesterday if people had traveled on their own as a kid. I did it a few times. I did go to Vancouver, and I did Red Deer, Alberta on my own I think I might have been 12 or 13. So tell me in the comments below if you have traveled alone as a young one, and I would love to hear your stories. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to flip the camera down. We'll show you what we are going to be crafting with, and then we will get started really soon, okay? And then, like I said, stick around to the end because I'm going to show you some other samples featuring the bundle that I'm going to be using. So hang tight, look away for a second while I flip this down. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. Hopefully it'll stay. We never know. Oh yeah, everything likes to move on me. Whoops. Good morning, Brenda. I'm just getting my camera adjusted. So many friends joining live today. This is always so fun. Okay, I think we are good to go. I'm going to shift this up a little bit, and that'll be my guide as to where I need to do all my crafting. Good morning, Debbie. Thank you for joining. I hope I haven't missed anyone. Good morning, Sandra. Okay, so we are going to be playing with some products from our mini catalog. So you see here on the front, it says July to December, but because of COVID and shipping delays, the catalog actually launched in August. And so we are having a blast playing with some of the products in this in this catalog. And today I'm going to be featuring the Merriest Moments bundle. Okay, so if you have the holiday catalog, this is on page 43. This is a really, this is kind of a unique bundle. This is the second time that Stampin' Up! Has done what we call a hybrid bundle. And it's because there's also an embossing folder that goes with it. So let me show you what's included in this bundle. So we have the Merriest Moments stamp set. This is a 16 stamp set. It's photopolymer, meaning it's clear all the way through as opposed to our red rubber. And then there are 16 stamps, a combination of greetings and images. The greetings are mostly holiday themed or Christmas themed. So together is the merriest place to be, season's greetings, joy, a joyful Christmas to you and yours, and thinking of you this festive season. Now, I say it's mostly Christmas because there are ways that you can kind of change up some of the sentiments to make them for other occasions. So if you wanted to create a thinking of you card, you could just ink up this part right here and then just leave off this festive season, and you would have a thinking of you card, which you could use some of the images from this stamp set, or you could just use the greeting on its own. And so it's just increasing the versatility of that stamp for you, okay? This stamp set also coordinates with the Merriest Frames dies. So in this set of dies, there are 16 different dies. And I'll show you what they look like. So we have some dies that will cut out the images in here. So the poinsettia, the holly leaves, there are sprigs, and we've got dies that will cut out each of them, including the little center that you might want to stamp and put on your poinsettia if you wanted to pop that up. And then we've got these gorgeous outline dies, and these actually work really well with the embossing folder. So this includes the Merriest Frames, sorry, it coordinates with the Merriest Frames embossing folder, and you'll get a chance to see today how this works with the embossing folder. So I'll show you that now. This is the embossing folder. And when you open it up, you can see that it's got a frame here that kind of has the same shape as this die cut frame here, okay? Or maybe it goes this way, okay? And I'm going to show you how you can get the embossed and die cut frame together. We also have this die here, which you can actually layer onto this embossing folder and do this outline with the embossing as well. So you'll get to see that as well. It's a really, really neat bundle here. Now this bundle retails for $73.75, okay, which is, it's not cheap, that's expensive, but it's because it's got all of these pieces to it, okay, so it's got the dies and it's got the embossing folder as well as a 16 stamp set. If you do decide that you'd like to purchase the starter kit, so our starter kit is basically a deal where you get to choose $165 in product. So let's say, for example, you had your eye on this bundle. Don't order that as part of your 165. You would order all the other things that you want. So if there's designer series papers, inks, cardstock, any other tools that you need, you order those as part of your 165. You get to choose whatever you want, and then you get to pick a bundle for free during the next 2 months. So you could actually choose this as your free bundle, and so you'd be getting so much value for free. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit more about that. The other item that I'm going to be using is if I can find my Celebration brochure. So Celebration is a promotional time of year where you get to choose an item for free with a qualifying order, okay? So as you look through the Celebration brochure, you'll see here free with a $60 purchase, free with a $60 purchase. So these papers here, you can actually choose for free with a qualifying order. Okay, and so one of the products that we're going to be using is just stunning. It's called the Bedazzling 6x6 specialty paper, and that is this package right here. So any of you who love some bling, you can actually get this package of paper. It's got 8 sheets, and you can actually get them absolutely free with a $60 order. Okay, so let me just stop for a second and look at some of the comments. Good morning, Heather. Good morning, Natalie, Nicole. Good morning, Janice. You're here and excited. Good morning, Michelle. Oh, Michelle was at a beautiful wedding in Niagara and you looked beautiful in your pink dress. Good morning, Joy. Hello, Carmen. Okay, so I was talking a little bit earlier about how my son is traveling to Vancouver this week. So he left yesterday and he's there for 10 days. So for those of you that missed my intro, he's there for 10 days with my cousin. So I was asking people to share in the comments if they've traveled alone without their parents when they were young, or if you've had kids that have traveled alone. So take a moment to read the comments later to just see some people's experiences. I love having these chats. So Shams, I see you've told me a little story. I'm going to go back and read that. Kathleen is loving this bundle, and so am I. So let me show you the card that I'm going to be showing you today. So this here is using the Merriest Frames bundle and the stamps, and then I've used just a small strip of designer series paper. So this is the card I'm going to be showing you, and I chose that card in particular because I wanted to show you how all of the dies and folders and stamps all work together. Okay, so I am going to be using a piece of very vanilla thick cardstock. Now I have scored this as a top fold, and the reason I did that is because I'm going to be putting a strip of designer series paper, and then I would like to wrap some linen thread around that. And so in this orientation, I can do that more easily. Okay, so I'm just going to burnish that with my bone folder, and I'm going to take out my little bits and bobs. And I'm going to just actually do this right now while it's top of mind. So I'm just going to grab my Stampin' Seal. And this is from the Painted Season Designer Series paper. This is also in our holiday catalog. This particular pattern that I've chosen has nothing really kind of festive on it. It's just got some of the colors that coordinate with that paper. On the back, we have the pine cones, but I'm not going to actually use those because there's going to be lots going on with my card. So I want the paper to be just kind of a small pattern there. So I'm just going to stick that down. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Okay, and then while I do this, let's see. Michelle's asking, how many times have I messaged him since he's arrived? You know what? I'm trying really hard to not kind of impede on his time, but I was thinking about him a lot yesterday. So his flight was originally supposed to leave at 4 p.m. And then they ended up getting delayed. I don't know if it was because of the heavy rain we had here, but he didn't actually end up leaving till I think it was like 8:30 at night. So he was with my cousin's husband and their son. And so by the time they left, I think it was like 8:30 in the evening. And so it was a 5-hour flight. So they wouldn't have gotten there till 1:30 in the morning. And I couldn't stay up till then. But I did wake up this morning and he had sent me a message saying that he had arrived safely. And so I'm guessing he's probably sleeping. And so I will probably be FaceTiming him as soon as I think he might be awake. Okay, let me go back to the card for a second. So I want to show you a little trick here. So I'm going to be wrapping my linen thread around here. Now, some people struggle a little bit with when you are using linen thread and you go to try and tie your bow, it kind of loosens and then you've got a lot of slack left in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a glue dot and I'm just going to lift this up here, just pulling it up with my take your pick tool, which doesn't seem to want to lift it up. And I'm just going to put that underneath here. Okay, I'm just going to stick it right onto my designer series paper. And then I'm going to tie my first knot and I'm just going to press that down. Okay, so it kind of acts as a third hand, so to speak, or a third finger, because I don't actually have to hold that down now. And it's nice and taut. So then I can actually take my linen thread and just focus on tying the bow so it stays really nice and taut across here. Okay, so that is one way to do that so that you don't have that kind of loose, hangy linen thread in the middle. I'm just going to cut that. And then I'm going to set this aside because I don't need that for now. Okay, so let me show you how the folder and the embossing folder and the dies work together. Okay, so you have a couple of options if you want to use the dies with the folder. I'm going to take this detailed one and leave that aside for now. And then I'm going to take this outline one here. And what you would do here is you would take this the die cut, the die. I'm having like word finding difficulties these days. I think I'm in need of some sleep. I haven't been sleeping very well lately, and I think it has something to do with my age. Maybe it's like perimenopause or something. I don't know. Maybe that's too much information for all of you, but I am just having a lot of trouble sleeping at night. I wake up with the slightest sound, and then I have a really hard time getting back to sleep. So I think that's catching up with me. Okay, enough about my hormonal issues. I'm going to tell you about this die. So you'll actually feel when you put the die into the folder that it actually has a bit of a spot where it doesn't necessarily click in, but it sits, like it won't actually shift around too much. So that's when you know that it's actually in the right spot. And then you'll take your piece of cardstock and you're just going to lay it on over that area. So my cardstock here is actually cut to 4.5 by 6 inches. So I've actually taken the whole size of the folder because I don't want to lose any of these leaves and sprigs on the edges there. Okay, so I've cut it a little bit larger. Sandra, you having a little chuckle? Okay, so then you're going to take your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And with this one, you're going to use your specialty plate. This is the gray plate that actually comes with the machine. You get 3 plates actually that come with it. You get everything that you need to start using it. And you're just going to run this through. Okay. And this is going to cut the outer part of the frame. So watch this. Watch the magic that's about to happen here. So I'm going to take that off and then see how beautifully it has cut out this part here. So you have the embossing and you have the die cut, so you don't actually have to use scissors to cut around there. You've also got this raised part here where you can put your sentiment piece on top. Okay, so isn't that gorgeous? And just one pass through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and you've got this beautiful frame. Now you could cut this out using our shimmery white cardstock. You could use it with white cardstock, very vanilla, and then you can actually go over it with Stampin' Blends or the water painters and ink to create sort of a watercolor look. And there is a sample of that in the catalog, which I'll quickly show you. If you look on page 43, this piece right here, you can see has been watercolored. Okay, so they've done all this different colors and you can just use water painters and ink to be able to create a multicolored frame like that. Okay, so I'm not doing that for this card. What I'd like to show you next is how you use the more detailed frame. So you could actually just use this just like that, but I want to also show you how to use this detailed piece here. So now that it's embossed, this die will fit really nicely again onto the embossed piece. So it's not like you have to do a lot of moving around and shifting. It's going to actually fit really nicely. So I'm going to bring back my cut and emboss machine, and this time I'm going to use my standard platform and then my 2 clear plates. Okay, so we'll get this all set up. And then after I've done this, I'll take a moment to look at the comments to see if there are any questions. Okay, so I'm going to set this down like that. And I'm going to run this through like so. Nicole, I'm sorry. It's beautiful. This was one that caught my eye. I love the detailed frames, and it's not one, I mean, this particular card is not necessarily one that I would call like a quick and easy. It's got some different elements to it, but I will show you some other samples that are simpler so that if you were mass producing or you wanted to make, you know, a few of them at once, or you just didn't really want to spend a whole lot of time, then you would have some options. Okay, so I'm just going to take out these little bitty pieces here, little parts in the middle, and then just have a look at how gorgeous that looks now that all of the excess around this has been cut out. Isn't that stunning? I just love this. I think it's so gorgeous. Now, I'm going to do one more die cut because I thought it would be really neat to use the Bedazzling paper as a little bit of an outline for that detailed frame. So watch what I do here. I'm going to take my platform again. Oh, Betty, that's a nice compliment. I felt like there were going to be some really good possibilities with this, and so I decided to splurge and get it. And it's always really nice to have a demonstrator discount, so then it's a bit less of a splurge. But yeah, I was forcing myself to kind of play with it. So I hope that you guys enjoy this. So what I've done now is I've just taken that large outline die and I've just put it on my Bedazzling paper. And I've got my machine turned the wrong way. Let me do it this way. And I'm just going to run this through. Good morning, Rita. Thank you for joining. Oh dear, I'm going to make you guys spend some money, aren't I? Okay, so now we've got this, which just looks like a blob right now, but wait till you see what this looks like on the card. Okay. If you're getting the bundle, I would highly recommend this beautiful paper, this Bedazzling paper. So right now during celebration, like I said, if you place an order of $60 or more, which this bundle is, you will get to choose an item for free. And so if you wanted the Bedazzling paper, you would actually get that for free. Now just look at that. So see how it's just got this subtle outline around this detailed frame, and you can still see some of the gold kind of peeking through here. So let's just go ahead and stick this down. I would recommend liquid glue for this, and that's just going to help it stick to the specialty paper, okay? Because it's got a finish to it, the Bedazzling paper. So I'm just going to just put some on the ends here. I wouldn't necessarily call this a simple card. It's not like maybe if you're a beginner and you don't have access to some of these tools, it might not be in your lane yet, but it's not a hard card to make. It just requires a few additional tools. Okay, so now I'm just going to take this and stick it down. So you just want to make sure that you've got it somewhat centered in that outline die cut. And then I'm just going to take I'm going to take a clear block and just set that down on there to add a little bit of weight, okay? Actually, I'm going to move this aside and then we'll come back to that in a second. So I'm actually going to do some stamping and heat embossing. You could also just stamp this in a darker ink. So if you wanted to use Mossy Meadow, which I've used on my card, which you'll see, you could do that. But I'm going to use some gold embossing powder. So I'm pulling out all the stops on this card today, all the different techniques. So don't get overwhelmed. There are ways to modify this and make it simpler. Oh, thank you for sharing, Rita. I appreciate that. So Janice was born in BC. Your dad was in the Navy, choices station, East Coast or West. He chose the West, and that's where you were born. Aw. Well, my son is going to be enjoying beautiful BC. I'm hoping that the weather isn't too bad there. I know they had like there's been a huge heat wave there, but it looks like the temperatures have come down a little bit. So my son doesn't do so well in the heat. Like he's very like he's always got a fan going in his room, and when we're in the car, he's always saying, "Turn up the air conditioning." So he doesn't like being hot. So that'll be interesting. But okay, so I'm just going to take my gold emboss powder. Just going to tap the excess off here. So I've stamped the Thinking of You this festive season with the watermark ink. And I'm just taking my embossing powder, the gold emboss powder. I'm going to just add it a couple of times just so that it's a nice kind of intense emboss. Okay. I don't know what I did to my H here, but we're just going to go with it. Something weird happened. You can still tell it's an H though, so we're going to work with it. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my heat tool and I'm going to emboss this. Hang on one second. Let this speed up a little bit. There we go. Oh, I don't know if I'm loving this. I stamped it a little crooked. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I redo this or just go with it? Thank you, Janice. I don't know. I'm normally okay with a little imperfection, but I'm a little fussed about this H. I really have no idea what happened. Oh, there's something stuck on my stamp. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to do another. Just hang tight. Stick with me. Enjoy your coffee. I'm just going to quickly die cut one more of these. So this is actually from the same die set. It's just a stitched rectangle, which fits really nicely in that frame. And I'm just going to quickly die cut one more, and we're going to do that heat embossing again. Sorry, friends. Like I said, I'm okay with a little imperfection, but that one was a bit weird to me. Yes, Betty. Yeah, okay. I'm so glad that you guys are all saying that. I am totally redoing it. Yeah, that would have made me a little bit nutty. Okay, so here we go again. Take two. We're gonna remove any oils from the cardstock. Make sure there's nothing on my stamp here. Okay. I appreciate the support here. You're right, it would have made me, I wouldn't have liked it. And I probably wouldn't have given it to anybody then. Okay, so now we're gonna make sure it's straight. Okay. And then let's see how this turns out. I have a feeling this is going to be much better. I think that my clear stamp case had cracked. I think there was like a few pieces from the actual stamp case that had gotten onto the stamp. So maybe that's what caused that little, oh, so much better. Phew. Okay, I like that way better. Okay, let's do this again. We're going to heat emboss this again. I'm glad I'm getting all the support for redoing this. Okay. Yeah, so much better. Oh, so much better. That other one was just weird. Okay, it looked like there was like a little leaf on the H, which is not supposed to be there. Okay, I feel much better. Thank you, my friends. Okay, so we are going to start to put this card together. Okay, so I can't really move my linen thread right now because it's kind of already stuck down to that glue dot. I'm just going to see which side lets it show more. I think this side is probably better. So it's just kind of peeking out. I can actually manipulate the bows a little bit to make them go this way once I go to stick down my large frame there, okay? So I'm just going to cut the edge of my dimensionals. You never want to throw this stuff out. It is totally usable. And I'm just going to put some pieces on the back of my frame here. Okay, so I'm sticking it right onto that Bedazzling paper. Got some ink on my nails here. And we'll just put that there. Okay, so now I'm just going to peel off the backings here. And this card is almost done. So let's see, I'm going to push these bows a little bit that way so that they're showing. And then I'm just going to put the frame onto the card like so. Okay, so you can see a little bit of the loops from the bow hanging out there. Okay, and then we'll take our do-over sentiment. So I'm using lots of dimensionals on this. If you were to mail this card, you would maybe want to take off one layer of dimensional so that it doesn't have to go as an oversize. But it's so beautiful all popped up, so even the extra postage would be worth it to get this into somebody's hands. Okay, so we've got that done. Are you guys loving this so far? Isn't it so pretty? Now, by the magic of television, I've already stamped and die cut my holly leaves and berries. So I'm just going to adhere these together. There we go. Just going to stick that down like that. And then put another little dot of glue right here. And then stick down the berries. Maybe we'll put this large one here. Okay. Yes, I'm seeing the comments. People are loving that second try way better. Okay, so we are almost done. Let me grab my dimensionals again. I'm just going to cut a small piece here, and I'm going to stick this down onto the card using dimensionals. I might actually just stick my dimensionals right onto the card here, and then I can place my holly wherever I want it to go. So there we go. And that's just going to sit there. I might even like just sneak a little glue dot underneath the berries. So let me just grab this. You don't want to put another dimensional under the berries because it's going to be uneven. There we go. Okay, so now there is lots happening on this card. We've got the gold embossing, we've got the bedazzling paper sticking out. So I don't want to put any sparkly gems on here, but what I am going to use are my matte decorative dots. Okay, so these are a pack of these come in a package of 180. We've got 4 different colors, and they're ombre, so they actually have like darker to lighter gems here. And so I'm going to use the red ones, or maybe they're cherry cobbler. And I will tell you that this is actually my host gift for the month. So if you place an order with me and you use this host code at checkout and your order is over $50, or I would actually suggest 60 because then you get the celebration item for free. But if your order is over $50, I'm actually going to send you a pack of these in the mail for free at the beginning of September. Okay, so if your order is over 60, you're going to get to choose a celebration item, and you're going to get a pack of these matte dots as well as a thank you card in the mail from me. Okay, so that's just an extra little freebie that I'm offering this month. And oh goodness, I'm going to put 2 up here, and then I'm just going to put the 1 down here, okay? So I feel like they add a really nice look to the card. They kind of pull in the colors, but they're not flashy because there's already lots of glitz and glam happening here. So good morning, Nadine. Good morning, Serena. Oh, what size is the card base? It is 4¼ by 11. So it's just a standard card base, but it's a top folding base. Okay, so what do you guys think? This was my original. This is the, oh, well, they both look the same, except the dots are in different places. So I'd love to hear what you guys think of them. And thank you for sticking around. I'm about to show you some extra samples using this particular bundle. So, oh, I'm seeing lots of hearts. Thank you, thank you. Oh, I'm glad that you love it. Definitely ordering the bundle. Janice is loving it. Okay, let me take a sip of my coffee here, and I'm going to show you some other samples. So, like I said, this is not maybe an example of a simple card, but it's not a hard card. It just involves a few different steps. You can modify the card and make it simpler by not heat embossing. So you don't have to heat emboss. You can just stamp in ink if you'd like. You could also lose that extra layer of the Bedazzling specialty paper, right? You don't have to use that if you don't want. And even I would say like the holly leaves to stamp and die cut them, it's an extra step. It adds a little bit to the card, but if you wanted to leave those off, you absolutely could and just use more gems, okay? So I always like to give you some ways to kind of modify the card so that it's a bit simpler, or if you don't have all of the supplies on hand. Okay, so are you ready? Let me show you some other projects. So this one here is just a really simple layout. What I did here was I took a piece of designer series paper. This is from our, I can't believe I don't know the name because it has pink in it, so I should really know this. It is called Whimsy and Wonder Designer Series paper. It's a specialty paper, so there's some metallic foil detailing on it. So I used a strip of the Designer Series paper, and then I took the same size and I just did some texture embossing with the trees. I think it's called evergreen something. I should really know the names. Someone will tell me. So I just took 2 panels and then I just stamped the season's greetings, and I stamped and die cut the poinsettia, and I used just some rhinestones here in the middle, and I added some of the elegant trim at the back. So it's a really simple card. I also just used my Wink of Stella pen to add a little bit of shimmer to this panel here, okay? So this is, I would say, on the simpler side. It doesn't have as many steps involved, but really still a gorgeous card that features that bundle. Then we have this one here. I got this card from Diana Langman as part of a swap. And what she did was she did the Tasteful Textile embossing on the Blackberry Bliss. And then she embossed and die cut this frame and stamped directly on it. Okay. And then she used some of our beautiful metallic shimmer dots as embellishments. And then this one here is a card that I had done for a card swap. Now the sentiment on it is different, okay? So I use the poinsettias. I even die cut the little ones from here. I use some of the Tasteful Textile, but I use the sentiment from a different stamp set. But you could easily use some of the sentiments from this particular stamp set to create this card. And you guys know I love pink, so this is a very similar, they're the same color scheme. Just a little bit more of the mossy meadow on this one. Okay, so there's that one. And then lastly, I have this card here, which was inspired by a card by Nikki Spencer. And I love the way this card looks. Just, I love the white. I feel like it looks really crisp, and then it really kind of showcases the leaves and the poinsettias. So what I did here was I took a piece of white cardstock that's the same size as my card base. So it measures 5½ by 4¼ I used the embossing folder to just create that embossed look, and then I die cut the stitched rectangle, and then I just added the flowers and the leaves here, and then I also die cut some of the bedazzling paper with the small poinsettias in the die set, and then I embellished with some of our elegant faceted gems. So there you have 5 different ideas for using the Merriest Moments bundle. I love this bundle. I love that you can do really simple or you can do really stepped up. I think that this will make gorgeous, gorgeous Christmas cards. And I can't wait. If you do order it or you've already ordered it, I can't wait to see what you create with it. I'm going to just stop and read some of the comments here. Oh, good morning, Andra. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Bernay. Oh, Janice loves it. Oh, what else am I seeing? Oh, thank you, Margaret Ann. I appreciate it. Keisha loves the sparkly paper. Yes, the sparkly paper is gorgeous. I'm seeing a bit of a glare here. Let me take this off so that you can see the card. And then Betty was so interested, she didn't even drink your coffee. Oh, that's a nice compliment. Thank you, Mindy. Thank you, Deborah. Oh, this is my pleasure. Thanks, Lorraine. Lorraine loves the white as well. Yes, it's such a fresh looking card. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you, everybody. Okay, I will post pictures of these and someone might need to remind me because I say that I'm going to do something and then, squirrel, and I forget. So if you don't see a picture of these cards coming up soon, please just send me a message and I'll post them on the page. And that way you'll have them as inspiration. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. Just remember that if you do want to purchase any of the products, you can go to my online store. There's a link here at zarapremji.com. If you use this host code here and your order is over $50, you're also going to get a package of the matte decorative dots. And if your order is over 60, you'll get to choose a celebration item for free. And if you're interested in doing the starter kit, so if your order is anywhere close to $100 or more, I would highly recommend the starter kit because you'll get to actually choose the Merriest Moments bundle for free. So if you need any help putting together your starter kit or your order, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Oh, Shirley's asking about the pieces in the pile. I will announce that in the Facebook group, Shirley. Thank you so much. All right. So if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I hope you have a fabulous day and week ahead. I'm not sure that I'll be live here on Wednesday because I will be out of town, but I will either I'll see if I'm going to get Wi-Fi there and might do a live where I am, or I will have a pre-recorded video to share with you on Wednesday at 8:30. Thanks again, everyone. Have a fabulous day. Bye for now.